You want to talk about E3 now, or what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? You already did your predictions.
You didn't do your predictions. And I could just justify and defend mine.
Okay. Go for it.
So, you're not going to be around.
It's a new YouTube video, so you got to start the intro.
You're not going to be. It's fine. You're not going to be around for E3.
I will be on vacation yet again.
Last
year I was on a work trip.
Are you going to see any of it?
It's a possibility. We're basically just hanging out at my friend's house with his new baby.
Is he in the games?
He's not. And I do not think that he's going to be staying home to hang out with us on a Monday. So I feel like he's going to work. The wives will be playing with the kids, and I will have my iPad on their Wi-Fi with headphones watching E3 by myself.
On Monday? So you get to see the big ones.
Hopefully.
So
if I only see Microsoft, I'll be fine.
That's all you care about.
Microsoft, kind of want to see Ubisoft. EA, half their shit is sports anyway, so it's always a drag.
Which is on Sunday.
Oh, it's on Sunday.
EA's on Sunday. Ubisoft is on Monday. Bethesda is on Sunday. Microsoft.
Well, that's good. Maybe I'll watch EA on Monday, and since it'll be an archive, I can just fast forward through the sports shit.
That's most of it.
I'm hoping they have some cool Star Wars stuff.
What do you want most out of E3? Prediction. Okay, I did the predictions video on my live stream. I had to do the one twice because I screwed it up. I think the second one was better. So.
It was.
Thank you. Oh, you suffered through the first one entirely?
For about 15 minutes.
Wow, that's almost half the video. Very good. Okay, so we'll talk about Microsoft first, since you're obviously a Microsoft guy. What do you need to see to make you say you're a guy, you casually are playing games. Yes, I understand you have family obligations, all that great stuff. What's going to make you just chomping at the bit like I am every single day at 4:30 to go home and fire up my console? What do you need to see? Is it a game? Is it a service? What's going to do it?
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be one. You can give me a couple if you want, but tell me what's as a casual gamer, what is fueling your...
So last year, what got me so excited was the backwards compatibility.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
And the promise...
Yes.
And I know you talked about this a little bit. So
a little bit. Maybe just once or twice.
But the promise of their entire first-party catalog of games, they said hundreds of games, or 100? 800 or hundreds, plural or singular?
Many. Excuse
me, I'm burping from this beer. Available at launch, backwards compatibility this fall.
And
while we did get 100 games, they were not 100 quality games.
You don't think that...
If they had shown all the stupid arcade games that launched backwards compatibility on that photo at E3 instead of their entire first-party lineup, people would not have gotten as excited as they did.
You don't think Foul Play, Monopoly Plus, Sega Bass Fishing, or Aqua are quality games? These were just added, bro. Just added.
No, they promised...
They promised. You promised me!
They promised BioShock Infinite. Has not come into backwards compatibility yet. I feel like
BioShock Infinite isn't? No. I'm opening up the official list. You get mad when I hold my phone up to the screen.
Well, please don't. I'm sure.
Why do you not like that?
It blurs it out. You can even see it on the repeat here.
Yeah, but after a second, it clears out. Do you want me to prove it?
No. So
there is no... I am looking at the official list right now on my phone.
When people thought of backwards compatibility, they thought of being able to play their favorite AAA games again.
You don't consider Millipede and Centipede one of your favorite AAA games?
No.
Earthworm Jim?
No.
Okay, one more. Okay, stop.
They thought of being able to play their favorite AAA games again.
Lazy Riders?
Possibly even games that they had missed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that would have really gone hand in hand with their games with gold, because you would again that's the sweeten the pot. For
every games with gold. Now you get 4 games for Xbox One, because you get the 360 ones are now always backwards compatible when they launch at games with gold.
That would be awesome.
So they are adding at least 2 new titles every month.
Yes,
that's cool.
Yes, that is awesome.
They have launched some games with gold that have been some pretty good titles. Saints Row 4. Deus Ex came out. I've tried to play that. The controls are wonky.
Deus Ex.
Whatever. Deuce is wild for me.
Deuce is wild. What is that for you? What is Deuce is wild for you?
What was cool was they Star Wars. I felt like they had to unleash. The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 became backwards compatible. I snagged those up for $5
What a
each.
great game. Star Killer.
Gonna play those again for sure. Definitely for sure. Once I finish Call of Duty Black Ops 3, it's on to Star Wars.
Would you say that backwards compatibility was a flop? Did it not?
The hype was good.
Okay.
The actual execution, because I don't know what happened, but
it stunk.
The execution was a flop. Absolutely.
So going back to my question.
So because of that, I think it's a less wanted feature now.
So
because of that, I mean, everything is about the launch. You want to talk about Xbox's failures? It's all about that launch. Mm-hmm. That first launch event where we have the video of TV, sports, TV, killed the Xbox at its launch.
Yes, I talked about that at length yesterday. That the war is long over. There is no console war.
They annihilated it.
It's over.
Just based on history. So I think they did the same thing with backwards compatibility.
So they haven't learned their lesson.
No. Phil Spencer's done some good things. Sorry, I'm readjusting. It's like straddling the table leg over here. A little weird. Now I want to straddle you, my friend. I'm just kidding.
Turn the video off.
Ooh.
Be right back.
Leave the sound on. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think the backwards compatibility things, I don't think you'll hear anything about it.
Nothing.
If you do,
really?
It'll be one of those things like Fallout 4 where Fallout 3 is available with pre-order.
That was something I talked about at length. I thought that was going to be the driving force of backward compatibility. I thought they were going to start to entice people to come back to Xbox, giving away the older copies of the games to kind of, because they're cheap. You get them on GameStop for quarters at this point. To just, it's bonus. No one's really dying to play Fallout 3, but so what? You have it now, and you can play it on your console. I agree with you 100%. Is there anything they could say, going back to my question, is there anything they could say that would make you excited to get back into backward compatibility? Like the entire library is not every single game's open, or I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what they could do. I mean,
every single game would be interesting, but I don't think that legally they would be able to do
that. Because a lot of what I talked about when I did my individual E3 predictions was I talked about what happened the previous year to show where they've come, and I felt backward compatibility was one of the biggest missed opportunities on Xbox's platform.
Oh, for sure.
So, if backward compatibility is the thing that's out, is there anything that would just drive you like banana, like make you nuts for Xbox? A new console, this new potential Scorpio console, which is going to be like Xbox on steroids, partnership with virtual reality, a new controller, anything?
I think it really depends on how these things. The new controller. I mean, I didn't buy the Elite controller, so there's probably not any controller thing that I'm going to jump at.
You weren't a big fan of the Elite controller. I
did try it out. I think, like I was telling you when we were playing, I think the way that you had the paddle set up on Halo 5 was throwing me off because you had it opposite of the way that I probably would have had.
And actually, it is opposite of the way that it was recommended. The way you were recommending the paddles, that's how it was by default.
What is the reason that you did that? Just because?
Because I have now, but at the time...
You use those more on the right-hand side?
Coming from PlayStation, I knew the buttons. Like, I know X or cross is the bottom center. It's always been that way.
Right.
I know square's left. Always been that
way. I know the Xbox layout, and I know the layout on PlayStation.
I didn't know ABXY. I do now, but I didn't. And at the time, it made the most sense for me to map the controllers the way the face buttons would appear to me. So in my head, everything was skewed slightly. It made sense to me. So when they said press A, I knew exactly what that meant. That's why I did it. By default, they are swapped. Anyways, just a little aside there. Crazy life.
No, I did like the feel of the controller. The paddles just threw me off trying to use them.
So
regarding the Xbox Scorpio or whatever we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I don't have a 4K TV, so anything past what they've already got is not going to be a huge advantage for me.
I don't think they're doing it for 4K.
And I don't think 4K TVs have sold that much. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I don't think PlayStation Neo, I don't think Xbox Scorpio is doing this for 4K. They're doing it for the horsepower for a future headset. Obviously, Sony VR. PlayStation VR.
Right, but the PlayStation VR has got its own box that comes with it.
It does, but it's still not going to be enough.
Still not enough.
It's not going to be enough. If you look at the technical specifications for the HTC Vive on a PC, my computer, which was playing Doom on amazing God mode.
It looked great.
Everything, what you saw in Doom, minus the resolution.
Convinced me that I need to go and buy Doom.
With the resolution.
On Xbox.
Of course. The resolution you saw on Doom I was playing was 1080p. Everything was max settings. 60 frames. It was. I actually throttle it to VSync to be 60 frames a second because I get minor screen tear. Only because I'd be running at 100, 115 frames a second. That's a very beefy game. I have a very beefy rig. I would still not be able to run the HTC Vive on my computer today. I would not be able to. Just to give you an idea of when you think of limitation. So, yes, the PlayStation VR does have a separate brain box that's going to have some processing power in it, but you want more, you're going to need more. So I feel like Sony is doing the PlayStation for the 4.5 for VR in the exact same way that the Scorpio is. I think this is setting up for VR. I think you're going to see Oculus come out on stage. You're going to see HTC come out on stage. They're going to say, hey, you know what? We're jumping in bed with these guys. We're doing it too. And this is the console that's going to get you there. That's why they're doing it. The 4K stuff is stupid. No one has a 4K TV, like you said. Most cable doesn't even broadcast at 1080p yet.
Right.
We're still at 720p.
And you can barely get any 4K content whatsoever.
So consoles are not going to push that technology. That's not going to happen. People aren't going to jump out and get it because they need power for their 4K TV.
So you think this is a pure VR thing?
I think 100% it's VR. I think it's a horrible idea, but that's why I think they're doing it. That's my prediction.
I mean, I haven't tried any VR stuff. I tried on an Oculus when we were at that one simulation company a couple years back. That's the only time I've tried it. It's cool. I don't know that I could play a whole thing with it that way.
I've always said with VR, I think it's a bad choice.
Especially you with your glasses. How many people have bad vision today?
Yes.
That's got to be a pain in the ass.
I've always wondered I've always thought with my glasses it's going to be an issue. And as you see my setup, I always watch TV while I'm playing games, so I would lose that entertainment aspect of it. My wife comes up a lot of times and watches. You may be able to mirror the data on the screen. I don't know. It's just not going to be as fun. So I don't think it's going to work out. We'll see.
I mean, Colin Moriarty, kind of funny, heralds VR as the future of gaming.
Yeah, I think he's way off base. I think it's going to be a gimmick akin to Kinect. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to even say the word Kinect this year. They said it 3 times last year.
I don't think so either.
It's phased out. The battle is over. No one wants
Here's the thing with VR is, yes, you can have you have your head, so you have your vision. Yes. That's one thing you can control.
Yes.
Do they have headphones on there as well? Speakers?
No, a lot of them don't.
The PlayStation, does it have some sort of ear thing?
You have to provide your own cans.
So you're still getting...
You plug it in the controller and you're holding a controller or the Move.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, I could be wrong. But I don't believe it has built-in speakers.
For me, until they get some sort of movement, because you're still holding a controller, looking around. I'm closing my eyes to imagine I'm wearing a VR headset. I'm not stupid. But, you still might have your sound coming from your regular speakers unless you plug in your headphones.
You're going to be distorted. It's going to sound...
So it's not a complete a VR experience. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to walk at any distance because you're walking to the wall.
Like, they're not developing 2 power gloves for you to wear so that you can, with force feedback on fingertips, so that when you reach out and touch something in the game, it feels like you're stopping.
The HTC Vive comes the closest. They have a pretty advanced peripheral with not individual fingers, but there's paddles for more than one finger. Mm-hmm. That's the closest I've seen. But yeah, like with the PlayStation Move, I don't know. I guess if they could somehow marry the Kinect into VR, maybe you could somehow sell that again, and maybe make people interested in it. I mean, but they lost so much dough on that Kinect. I don't know if jumping into another potential hardware solution is the right choice for them right now. It might not be.
I think that's part of their strategy with partnering with Oculus, which is owned by Facebook.
Right.
And I don't know if they'll partner with HTC as well, but having a third party, rely on that third party to market and sell their hardware and the games that go along with it.
Right.
Where Xbox can just focus on Xbox and just build in this hardware compatibility with VR for certain games.
They got the dough to throw at it.
Rely on those companies to do all the marketing and hardware production and all the things that they lost building and selling Kinect themselves. I think that's where they're going to, save themselves financially, is those companies will go under and take a hit. Sorry, I'm covering the camera.
And if you look at what Sony did, Sony didn't have that kind of money. They had to invest it in-house. Microsoft's got mega bucks, very deep pockets.
To me, Sony's whole approach is just, it's whack. I don't understand why you have to have a PlayStation camera and or a PlayStation Move, 2 controllers, right? Is that standard? Where do you even sell those in Best Buy anymore?
Move? No, they're going to have to recreate them.
So
you could buy them on Amazon for like $80 secondhand right now.
You've got to have those 3 peripherals plus the headset.
Right.
and that comes with its own box.
Right.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5 USB ports or whatever the fuck plugs in the back of the PlayStation.
Just 2.
Taken by, I mean, I know the moves are
it's just in the front.
wireless.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the move
that just seems like a hassle to, if you buy the VR headset for your kid for Christmas and they don't have a camera, you got to go out and buy that camera.
Well, the PS VR bundle that they were selling.
But not every store is going to sell a bundle.
Well, Best
you've
Buy
already
had
got a PlayStation camera.
Best Buy did sell a bundle of the everything. I think it was $500. It was the whole thing. It was the PlayStation VR, 2 Move controllers, and the camera. What I pre-ordered was just the VR only. I would have to go out and procure Move controllers at some point. I don't have those. I have the camera, obviously. So yes, I agree with you. I'm 100% on board with you. I don't know. I pre-ordered it just because I wanted to see what it was. I don't think I'm going to get it, but I wanted to hold the line, hold the spot on it. I've been very against VR, and I'm afraid that Microsoft is just following suit because it's like, well, they're doing it, we better do it too. And I don't think that there's a lot of content there, and I think you're going to see another Kinect. I really do.
I really think that this is the year Sony stumbles.
Oh, okay.
I think this is my prediction for this year would be
why do they stumble?
Sony stumbles. So last year you had the PS4 conference of your dreams, right?
It was one of the best I've ever
Last Guardian, Uncharted 4.
They could have stopped it right there.
Big Dicks Anonymous. I don't know what else that they pulled out. Horizon Zero Dawn. All this stuff. Horizon's been delayed. We already know about it. Last Guardian's probably not coming out this year.
What? It's coming out this year. Don't hate.
No Man's? Are they going to show No Man's Sky again? It still hasn't come out. That'll be the third fucking PlayStation conference in a row at E3 that they'll show the stupid game that hasn't come out.
No Man's Sky in specific is a very big blunder on that company.
Let me say this. Let's go back to Xbox for a second.
You just love to hate PlayStation. Oh, PlayStation hate. Here's Brent.
No, I'm going to hate on Xbox. If Xbox shows me one more Cuphead trailer,
oh my god,
without a release date or saying it's available now, I don't want to fucking see it.
That's what happened with Mighty Number 9.
I don't want to fucking see another Cuphead trailer with ambiguous year on it. Give me a release date, lock in the release date, and fucking put it out.
It's very clear to me with Cuphead, very clear to me, that they bought the game. Whatever they showed you was not the vision they had. They've rebuilt that game from scratch. It takes 2 to 3 years to build a decent game. That's what we're waiting for. What you saw is not. I mean, the graphic look and everything is there, but what you saw is nothing like what the game's going to be. They've totally absorbed that game, and they basically borged it. They brought in their own Xbox engineers, and they're like, "This is how Cuphead's going to be because we said so."
I'm just tired of seeing Cuphead trailers and not having anything.
I am too. And
put out a demo for God's sake. Put out 2 levels. One level that's done.
That would be fun.
Available now.
See, I already have a lot of love for Xbox and PlayStation and everything. I don't need. The reason I asked you the question about what do you need to see to get you hyped up is I'm always amped up. I'm on IGN every single day. I am dialed into everything that's happening.
I guess I don't know that I'm going to be hyped up from this particular Xbox conference.
Just in general,
because I'm not a Crackdown fan.
Right. Well, that was actually, the very interesting...
And I don't know if that's launching this year. We had a trailer for it last year.
It's funny, I'm looking at...
I'm not a Watch Dogs fan. There's no Assassin's Creed probably coming out this year. What else? Recore, we'll probably see more of that. But it's another thing.
I thought Recore was a very novel
It's
idea.
Another thing that we've seen already.
So
there's no Xbox franchise that hasn't had an installment yet.
True.
That were on this new generation. So I don't know. We'll probably see Sea of Thieves again from Rare. There's just, I can't predict,
It's really funny.
Because last year you were like, I want to see the next Gears. We saw that.
We did.
We're going to see more of that this year. There's nothing like that, I can't wait to see this next iteration of this game. There's nothing like that for Xbox for me right now.
Okay, see, there's a real, just because I happen to pull up IGN while we're talking, they just today published platform and gameplay.
Oh, and that was never an issue before.
So finally we're actually seeing some
It was supposed to be like Galaga or something, I thought.
No, there was some platforming, but I think that's part of the retooling that they did. Yeah, there's always that you don't know what they're going to show. I mean, yes, news is leaking fast and furious at this point. Sea of Thieves, I had absolutely no idea was being worked on. I had no idea about it. When I watched it, I was blown away. When I saw Recore, same thing. I was like, what the hell is this? Blown away, had no idea what's going on. So we're going to get a lot of those of things we don't know. Just blind excitement, and I'm excited for those. Mm-hmm. I'm really curious. You mentioned Crackdown. I'm really curious. They mentioned this last year, and E3 is known to...
Crackdown's still going to have the power of the cloud.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about. E3 is known to hype things up and take them away. I know you didn't play The Division, but The Division at one point offered a fourth player in your fire team, or whatever you wanted to call it, that was controlling a drone. There's gameplay footage of a guy crouching behind a thing, taking cover fire, and a drone flew overhead, controlled by a fourth player, playing on his tablet, and he took out the enemy and allowed the other 3 players to advance the story. Gone from the game. So E3 is always about pushing that boundary, showing you 4K graphics and dialing it down to 1080, promising you the world and giving you half. They've always done that. What I'm really curious about, you mentioned, is what is this whole cloud thing going to be with Crackdown 3? Is that a thrust that they're going to make? Is it a big deal? Is it gone away? Is it underplayed?
That was one of the things that they had at the launch event.
I'm very curious.
Didn't the Xbox One launch event talk about the cloud a lot?
When the Xbox One launched, they talked about the cloud was like capable of performing 10% of the world's computing at one time.
And that's why their machine was underpowered, is because the cloud was supposed to handle
the cloud
that
was
stuff.
supposed to beef it up. Then they got into DRM nonsense. They got muddled. They muddied the waters, and then they said, "Forget it. We don't need any of it."
So
since then, it's been gone.
I think their cloud strategy has disappeared. Crackdown may be the last we ever hear of it.
I don't even think they're going to be able to execute that cloud thing well. I think people are going to play it and realize how bad it is.
Possibly. I
don't think the cloud gameplay is going to make people say, "Oh man, the cloud is so cool. This is great. I really need to get back online to play it."
So I'm not going into this year's Xbox conference with any hopes of being super duper excited. I'm just looking to be pleasantly surprised to see once again that they pulled out something decent, being the second place. But even though it's a competition between 2, loser of the console war.
I'm excited for everything we talked about. I'm excited for Halo Wars 2. I'm excited for the things we don't know about yet, and I'm excited to see what this new console is really going to do. I said before, and I'll say it again here. I would love if they came out and said, everything you heard about Scorpio is a lie. We're not doing any of it. We're all in this together.
That would be fantastic.
There's one Xbox. If you want to go over to Sony and buy a new console every 2 years, good luck. You paid for an Xbox One. We're going to deliver you content on Xbox One.
I would love that strategy.
But that really does go against their whole Helix initiative where they're trying to merge the Windows 10 world into the Xbox One world. So they're going to have conflicting initiatives if they take that
They've
route.
got USB 3 ports on there.
They do.
If they can create a secondary device that plugs into that USB 3 port somehow and amplifies that thing.
A modular, like the expansion pack on the N64.
Well, but that had that from the beginning.
Yes.
Anything here now would be an afterthought.
Gotcha.
I dare say, you know what? You could probably use the Connect port in the back to plug in some other modular unit.
Interesting.
And then if you did put that same port on that part,
that's dreaming,
so that you could daisy chain that to your Connect.
That's some major dreaming right there. That would be great.
But I'm just thinking of something that needs,
you know what? You never know.
Power, and it needs a large bandwidth. And I think the infrared cameras and all that stuff on the Kinect need a lot more bandwidth through that special port than necessarily is maybe available through a USB 3.0 port.
Wow, that's a really big dream.
I'm just thinking about what's on the back of that. What's on the box itself. That they could add on something without making you buy a brand new box.
Are you excited that they're coming out with a slim variant, or it means nothing?
No, it means nothing to me. I got my console. I'm sticking with it. It fits in my entertainment center very nicely. I don't see getting a new one unless it breaks somehow.
Okay, so you're not interested in getting a new one?
No, never been interested in that stuff. Unless I was buying it at the time and that was available, which wasn't the case.
So, but they have to be working on stuff they haven't shown. They're not. I can't think of any E3 in the past 10 E3s.
Oh, I'm sure there's stuff
where I've walked in, I've sat down and watched, and I was like, "This is really dumb." Like I didn't see anything new.
I'm sure there's stuff that they're working on.
Scalebound, Dark Souls, Gears
we'll
of War
probably
4.
see Scalebound again for the 3rd year.
They need to finish that game. The Platinum Games, they get overextended. Bayonetta 2 wasn't that great. Now they're kind of real.
Platinum, is that the same company that did Transformers Devastation and
I know they did
Teenage
Bayonetta.
Mutant Turtles?
I don't know about Ninja
That
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles got a terrible review. And Transformers got a average review.
They've peaked. They've peaked. I don't know if that's the same platinum.
Maybe that's why Scalebound got moved back, because they were doing...
Well, I read that there was a lot of issues with what Scalebound...
resourcing issues.
What Scalebound was going to be. Platinum Games. Let's look.
Okay, so I want to go back to talking about Sony. I think this is the year of Sony stumbling.
They were Transformer Digistations, Bayonetta 2, Metal Gear. I don't see Ninja Turtles, though.
That's the same. It's the same developer. TMNT just came out. Was them. Turtles in Time or whatever.
I believe you.
It looks really cool, but apparently it's no good.
I believe you.
Or not no good, but it's an okay
as
average
Brent
game.
would say, meh.
So I think Sony's going to stumble because we've pretty much, multiple sources have pretty much confirmed that the PS4K or PS4 Neo is a real thing. We know VR is coming.
VR is definitely coming. It seems all but yes, at this point.
It has been all but confirmed by the company itself.
I think we'll find out very soon if that's
so.
True.
If that's another $500 box that only sets you up for VR, is that something worth getting?
To me, no.
So this is what I feel like is going to happen. They're going to sell you, or try to sell you on PSVR. Now that we have a release date, it's this fall.
Yes, I think there is actually a date.
We have a release date. We have a price. They're doing manufacturing right now. You're going to see a lot of push for PSVR.
Agreed.
Then they're going to sell it. This is what I don't understand. That's one piece of hardware. Then at the same time, they're going to push another, possibly $500, $400 box, PS4K, PS4 Neo, whatever the fuck they want to call it. I like the 4K. It sounds a little bit better to me. Another so they're going to push $1,000 worth of hardware on you.
That was
that's going to endear you to PlayStation again for one more year.
That was one of the things they talked about. Just a lot of the pundits, and I agreed with it. When they told you, "Oh, you're getting VR for only blank," it was like, well, not if you don't have the console or the controllers or the camera or the games. You're right. The truth is, VR is no easy sell. I know Sony's trying to put their spin on it and make it sound like it's so easy and cheap, but it's not. It does require a significant amount of hardware because of the way it interfaces with the person.
So I feel like them having two different things of hardware to sell,
that's going to be what's
going to take up a large part of their conference.
That's what scares me, and that is one of the things I'm very worried about. If what the technical specifications for PlayStation Neo are true, if they're true to what we've read so far, it's going to be so much more powerful than the original PlayStation that games will run better. You will get that 30 to 60 frame a second jump. You will get the 720p to 1080p. It's that much power. Now, I would never, ever, ever want to play it on crappy graphics if I can get it on good graphics.
Right.
So I'd have to get another. I have to get it. Because that's just who I'm a gamer. I have to have the best stuff.
You don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything. But
your impulse is to get it because you like being on the cutting edge.
Of course. I don't want to play Dark Souls on Blighttown at 10 frames a second when the guy sitting next to me is playing at 60 frames a second. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is not a good experience for me. So if I know something is better out there and I could get it, they're playing my hand, and I'm going to play right into it. And that's what I hate.
I
hate that.
If the PS4 is the first thing, 4K is the first thing they announced during the conference.
Yeah. That's going to put...
Colin Moore already said this on his prediction, so I will not take credit for it.
Don't take credit for it.
This is from Kind of Funny Games on PS I Love You. Go listen to it. It's great podcast. Love those guys.
Love them too.
He said this week that he feels if they announce that first, they'll make some sort of announcement that everything you see today runs on PS4K.
That was a very good
point.
So
then, if you choose not to buy the first round of hardware for PS4K right away,
right,
you don't even know what's being sold to you as a regular PS4 gamer.
I mentioned this on one of the videos I did. It was very akin to what the Wii did with the Wii U. Nobody knew what it was. Was it a new console? What were the graphics we were seeing? Was it new processing? Was it a new peripheral? You're absolutely right, and it's going to muddy the waters. You're going to see the latest trailer of some game, and you're going to be, oh my god, I got to have it. Now, they can put little asterisks on each thing that says, oh, by the way, this is only a Neo. Expect it to look shitty on PlayStation 4.
It's not going to look shitty.
Not shitty, but not as good.
I mean, this is what...
But you're talking magnitudes of difference now. You're not talking like a small difference.
it's still not a PS1, PS2 jump in graphics. It's still not a 64 to GameCube jump in graphics.
No, but
all we're talking about here is smoother texture or more detailed textures, more amount of polygons to smooth out your character models.
You're gonna look at
faster frame rate, bigger resolution,
which all makes differences.
And I think what you're just gonna see is more lighting effects. Here, now on the lighting effects, I've seen some things on. I think I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. And there was so much lighting effects when you turned. I mean, granted, you were turning and looking away from the area you were supposed to be playing at. You were like turning to look at the sun. You're just doing like a 360 to look at the world.
Yeah.
But at one point, there was so much lighting effects coming because I think I had the sun on this side of the screen and I still had the area on the rest of it. But since this was in the area, there's so many lighting effects from the sun that it washed out everything else. So that's where I feel like sometimes you get these lighting effects.
So it's like an overload. It's too much.
So it's almost too much. It becomes too much about the graphical detail and the graphical capability of this engine and the hardware, where we lose sight of just the pure art of it.
But if you went back and played Doom right now, and I dumped everything from Epic or Ultra to Medium, you would instantly notice the difference. You would instantly know. Now, does it make the game less fun? That's debatable. Does it make it run a lot crappier? It sure does. And the pretty stuff, when you hit an alien and he exploded into a fine red mist and phased out, that kind of detail could be gone.
Right.
Now, yes, is it still fun to shoot him in the chest and watch him explode? Sure. Of course you're going to see little particles. You're not going to see them the way you saw them now.
But I feel like that kind of stuff is so much more important when you're playing a PC game to have a more capabilities, because when you're playing a PC game, at times the furthest away you are from your monitor is maybe the width of this table, which is 2.5 feet.
That is a true point. You are up close.
So your screen size is smaller, but it's closer to your eyes, so your eyes can handle all that detail.
There's a much more attention to detail. I agree. No, I understand. I mean, but it's not like we're playing in a vacuum on our consoles either.
Whereas, I don't feel anybody sitting 3 feet away from their 42-inch television.
That's hardcore.
Playing a game. I feel like
hardcore.
Most people are sitting, 4 to 6 feet, possibly 9, in some living rooms away. I feel like if you plug that stuff into your TV set over there right now, and had that, if that was a true monitor, and you sat where your couch is right now, you might not notice all that stuff as much as you do playing on your desktop.
I feel like a lot of people are going to have that attitude of like, oh, it's not a big deal, but I think it is a big deal. And the same reason why I remember when you had your 360 and you go, I don't need an Xbox One. I got all these great 360 games. I got a huge backlog. And then you saw Xbox One, you're like, oh my God, I need an Xbox One. You remember that? Everybody does it. I'm not picking on you. I did it too. Oh man, look, PlayStation 4 is coming out, but man, I got all these great games on PS3. It looks amazing.
Because you always want to play the new stuff.
Of course.
But I don't think that...
And they're not taking it away from you.
I don't think that they're going to cut everybody off at the knees and say
Probably
all the
not.
Games coming out from September 2017 until forever are only going to be on PS4K.
That would be suicide.
They're going to be backwards compatible with the PS4.
Now, do you think if they do end up going forward with this 4K, are there going to be 2 copies of each game, or do you think it's just going to sense and it's going to put the responsibility on the developer to figure out we're going to build the game twice, so to speak, on the same disc? What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to have 4? Is the PlayStation says PlayStation 4 on the cover? Is it going to say 4.5K?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe what they would do with these games is they would sell a PS4 copy, and you would put it into your PS4K,
and it would download.
Whatever it needs to run in the 4K mode.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, I don't know.
You're only proofing one disc. You're only packaging one disc, and you're just downloading everything. Even if that disc, it may not even install anything at all. Maybe it just goes to the internet.
It just knows to go and download.
And downloads the entire game from the internet, similar to the way PC games work right now.
Right.
All of it's pretty much downloaded from Steam, even though you still have a disc and a code.
True. Yeah, I'm curious because there's a lot of those little logistic issues that I think people don't put a lot of thought into. Now, again, we don't know the whole story. We really don't. This is all hearsay, and this is me getting on my soapbox about things I don't understand. So I'm very curious what they're going to say. And I'm very curious how they're going to try to sell this and implement this without making me feel like I got beat by being an early adopter. Because if it's not a big enough jump, then of course I'm not going to do it. If they say all the games are identical and this is purely for a better VR experience, that would make me feel a little better.
Do you feel like Sony is going to continue their thing of paying for exclusive content from these third-party publishers?
I think so.
They've won the war. They have won the war. Hands down.
Yes.
Sold twice as many, for the near future anyway. We know PS3 eventually outsold Xbox 360 at the tail end or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or came 50-50. Colin Moriarty loves to point this out
I thought
on
Xbox,
all of his fucking podcasts.
I always thought 360 was like superior console.
No, it was a rocket ship, but apparently, according to Colin Moriarty, at least, is my only source.
Yes, I know. This is Colin.
Eventually caught up to 360, and he may say overtake. Maybe it's by 1 or 2, a couple hundred units. Who knows?
3 consoles later, yeah.
So
the reason they did that, in my opinion, and the true reason they did that was to combat that message that Phil Spencer was, this is the greatest Xbox launch in history.
But it wasn't just last year. It was the year prior to that, too.
Well, I think last year was really because of the greatest launch in history. I don't think Sony has as good first-party titles. I think if you look at the list of everything Sony has first-party, first was Xbox has. I do like a lot of stuff. I know like, I would get flayed saying this, but like God of War, Infamous, those are good franchises. But Halo and Gears, those are like
touchstones.
That's life. That's gamer life. I mean, they're just synonymous with amazingness. They're, and you could argue, has there been bad Halos, there have been bad Gears, whatever. Yes, but they
lost Metal Gear along the way. They lost Final Fantasy along the way.
Those games defined generations of people on consoles. They defined generations. To this day, people will still remember playing the original Halo, and there's just loyalty there. So I do feel like Sony's always going to play catch up, and I think Last of Us is amazing. I don't think in 10 years people are going to be talking about Last of Us. I think in 10 years they're going to be talking about Halo still, or Gears of War or whatever. I don't know. I feel like at times Sony's gonna throw more money at it, and then at times I feel like they don't need to anymore.
I mean, that's where I was going to go next. Is I don't think they need to.
Right.
I would hope they just discontinue it.
Yeah, they might. I don't know. I mean, as a gamer who has both consoles, I could totally understand. I don't care. I win either way.
I mean, I know.
I'm gonna go where I'm gonna get the best stuff.
I know that they get a cut.
Oh yeah.
PS4 and Xbox get a cut of hardware software sales on all their platforms.
Correct.
For sure.
Of course.
So of course they're gonna try to incentivize you to buy it on the third party games. Right. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I guess my issue with it is that since Xbox is not taking that strategy, and Phil Spencer said this, he's not going to do that strategy. He's not going to play that game. He's just going to put out great first-party games, and hopefully you play the third parties on their console as well. That it's just, I guess it's annoying as just only being an owner of an Xbox. It's annoying to me to watch Sony's conference or these third-party conferences where it's PlayStation branded everything and an exclusive thing, because the same opportunity to get that stuff is not being given to me either ever, or in Destiny's case, it's after a year after that content is launched.
True.
So, and a year is a long time to wait in Destiny. I mean, you're already on to the next thing. Yeah,
it's gone. I mean, there's stuff that's in Taken King that if that's true, still hasn't come out yet. Think about how far along we've been since you guys on Xbox have gotten the Jade Rabbit.
I mean, going back to the Rise of Iron video we were doing earlier, if there's PlayStation exclusive stuff on Rise of Iron that's going to wait a year, it's going to unlock on Destiny 1 by the time Destiny 2 comes out.
Yeah, no one's going to care. Right. Yeah, by that point, exactly right. I don't know. Microsoft took a very definitive stance in this. And they said last year, even though they were a little hypocritical in Tomb Raider, that they said, hey, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to invest any money we would have spent on exclusivity. We're going to invest it in first-party game development.
I still think that's a great strategy.
Idea. And that's why I go back to what I said about I feel like Xbox has a better first-party lineup for that exact reason. Because they're constantly... Because now you're just going to start seeing the benefits of them investing back in-house. Mm-hmm. And PlayStation doesn't, if PlayStation has extra money, I don't see them standing up another studio. They're calling Call of Duty and saying, come to us. Ubisoft, come to us. Give us skins, give us maps, give us whatever. That said, I think it's awesome, but I understand the other side of it. It's the haves and has-nots. I get it. And again, I'm going to get the game one way or another. I don't care. If it's a PC exclusive, I'm getting it on PC. I have them all.
I know that I'm probably in the minority of gamers,
but it does fuel
talking on the internet, and that I only have one console.
It does fuel a lot of the console wars,
But I know that there are a lot of gamers out there who only have one console, and that's who I feel for.
But at the same time, Sony is doing the same thing that Microsoft did.
If they have an Xbox, they could have a PS4 and not give a shit.
That's but I understand, and we don't know the financials behind it. We might be talking millions of dollars, we might be talking hundreds of dollars. We just don't know. They may just say, "Hey, PlayStation, we love you guys so much. Can you put us on your stage? Yeah. And we're going to give you. You pay us back that advertisement and letting us come on your stage." We just don't know what the financial aspect of it is.
Now that PlayStation has sold more units than Xbox,
right?
Their stage is the stage you want to be on to launch something big right
and
now.
That's what
because they're going to have more eyes.
And that's what everybody's going to be talking about, and that's what everybody's going to see. And I agree. Real quick, I did look up the VG charts.
Yep.
And according to all-time hardware sales in North America, the Xbox 360 sold 48 million and the PlayStation 3 sold 29 million. However, when you go across you go globally now. You go across Europe, North America, Japan, the rest of the world, PlayStation 3 did outsell Xbox by under 1 million. Okay. So North America, where to me it really counts, they got their ass beat, but across the whole world, they won by just a smidge. So I guess technically that is true. But I do remember, as I was the Xbox 360 guy, they were owning it over here in the States. And that's all I care. I don't care what's going on.
So 1 million percentage-wise of 85 and 86 million.
That's what I mean. It's
what, like maybe a 3% difference?
I don't even know. Peanuts. It's a very small amount. So technically, I guess there's accuracy. I don't know.
Yeah, and is that within the margin of error?
Probably. Yeah, exactly. How do they even know that's true?
I don't know. So that's all I got for E3. Okay. Anything else you're excited about?
Nothing I didn't mention before, other than I hope that a lot of these pre-releases aren't rehashed at the event.
I think they are. A company goes in, and you know this. A company goes in and preps what they're going to show.
True.
They prep what they're going to show. That leaks within days of the conference. They got nothing else to show.
Yeah,
they're getting all their assets ready, their vertical slice ready, all that stuff's ready. And if that information or that stuff leaks, all it does is take the wind out of the announcement. Yeah. So I feel like Watch Dogs may have some gameplay and stuff like that.
But they did that.
The bulk of the announcement's gone.
Yeah, if Watch Dogs comes out on I don't know what they can show. They're going to show gameplay. That'll be the new part. We haven't seen Watch Dogs gameplay. We haven't seen Dark Iron Banner or whatever gameplay.
I would be interested to see if like Injustice 2, that trailer came out, right?
Yeah, and that was just a little reel. That wasn't any gameplay.
I really believe that that's probably all they had to show.
Maybe.
Because I think in Mortal Kombat X, the year before it came out, we only saw a little bit. So that may be all that they had to show. It was just an announced trailer. That's it. I don't know. I don't believe we're going to see gameplay.
We might not. Yeah, that might be that.
And if that's all that they had to show, do you think Sony, assuming they have the same partnership with WB and that they did in the last Injustice, PS4 was the only one that got a remastered Injustice. Xbox One did not.
That was a free game on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, Xbox One didn't even get a remaster. So
yeah, all the cool skins.
Did they get pulled from the conference now that it came out early?
That's a great. And you wonder how much of this conference is still being developed. They know exactly what they're going to say and do at this point. Are they set up in the studios right now?
I mean, they're going to be doing run-throughs and dry runs and stuff. But as stuff keeps leaking, do you keep your in the conference and just bring it down, or you try and fill it with something else?
Yeah, no, those are great questions, and I don't know. I know that sometimes a lot of these conferences will do these and it's really more Sony than Xbox. They will do these really zany things to try to build up attention, or it's like a staller kind of thing, and they fall flat. When Xbox brought, I'll pick on Xbox first. When they talked about Forza, they brought down that car.
Yeah.
What was that? Who cares? Just give me 10 more seconds of Cuphead, please. Then the one year with PlayStation, they had that Adam Boyles read letters Letters from the fans. And it didn't lead to anything.
They brought out Pele at EA last year.
Oh my god, and Pele. So
here's what I don't want to see
I don't want to
from
see
PlayStation's conference. I don't want to see any Japanese guys on stage talking Japanese.
I think you're going to see Japanese guys on stage.
I'm sorry.
I think you're going to see that.
It's so boring.
Well,
so boring.
Yeah, but there's something to be said that the guy who made the game is on stage talking about his game. I don't mind the language barrier. And you know what that might come from? I watch a lot of UFC, and a lot of the best fighters in the world are not from the States.
Yeah.
And they're amazing in the ring, and you want to hear what they have to say. And yes, it's boring because they ask the translator, who asks the guy, who repeats it to the translator.
I would just rather...
But he's there.
If Kojima's going to walk out, and then his English might be better than some other guys.
He just walks out and says hello, and then...
He might walk out and say hello and bring somebody else along with him that's going to talk about the game.
And then he just stands there and smiles?
In English. Yeah, why not?
He's
a rock star. He doesn't have to say shit.
Yeah, I don't mind. You know, the Final Fantasy... When Final Fantasy did their reveal...
which I didn't watch. Was it Japanese people and then translators?
It was, but they translated it on the screen, and you had to read it for yourself.
Ugh.
But the problem was, that was fine. The problem was they kept panning all these cinematic views, and they weren't showing the screen. So everybody in the stage could watch the screen, but me on TV, it was like panning around his head, looking down at the audience. I'm like, I can't read the words. So I missed part of his message. I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
I missed it, you know.
I don't like the time between. I understand the respect. The Japanese are a very respect and honor driven culture. I understand wanting to give people the respect they deserve based off the hard work that they're going to do.
Yeah, see, it's not a.
But that gap between them talking and then the translator talking is what kills momentum on a stage, in a presentation.
I do agree.
Anything.
I do agree that it does slow the momentum down. I don't mind if somebody comes out, if it's brief. But they shouldn't be, even with the U.S.
I'm talking
guys.
like more than 3 minutes, get somebody else to talk.
But I feel that way about anything. I wouldn't just say only if you don't speak English. To me, it's anybody who comes out and yaps and yaps and yaps.
I agree with you there,
It's like,
too.
show me a cinematic trailer. Show me gameplay. Show me something, because
Like,
this is press.
talk over something. I don't want to look at your face that long.
That would be great if they did that. Yeah, they do a lot of that. They like to get on stage. That guy who did Powers, I don't know his name, was a little...
Brian Michael Bendis, the writer and creator of Powers.
The little fat guy?
He writes for Marvel. He's currently writing Civil War 2, their big summer event.
He comes out in a brown suit.
He wrote Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man, great fucking series.
He comes out and he drools over the... Powers is going to be a great show.
He's not a media guy. He's never been on stage before. He gets on podcasts and talks he barely does any interviews at all.
But I don't care.
So he's got no stage presence.
I got nothing against them. But when they come out and they talk and talk and talk about Powers, it's like, what does this have to do with video games? I know it's E3 and the electronic entertainment.
I love the fact that he came out on stage last year and talked about Powers for 10 minutes.
I love it.
But nobody gave Sony shit for talking about TV. But Xbox took so much shit for talking about features in their box.
I could hear the tone in your voice.
No, it's just hypocritical of Sony ponies, so I'm sorry.
You just hate Sony. You'll see it one day. You know, we've beat you down. You've lost, of your own words, you've lost the war.
I've lost the war.
Join us.
I have a box in my home. I don't need a second one.
Come to the dark side.
It plays Blu-rays.
The Xbox plays? Oh, it does. Yeah, I watched some Game of Thrones in that. Any closing words before we wrap up? Did you say everything you wanted to say? Are you going to promise me now we're going to do a wrap-up video within a month?
I have shot my bolt.
After E3, within a month, are we going to somehow talk about this?
It's highly possible.
Oh, it's highly possible. Are you going to storm out after this because you're mad at it?
No.
Is the PlayStation...
My wife's called twice while we're doing this video, so I probably will storm out once we're done, but...
Yes, peel out.
I would love to do a reactions video.
Well, I'm glad you got to stop by and do a video.
It's
always good to see you.
I was hoping that E3 this year, I would be in town so that I could come over and watch it with you, and then we could have had you, me, and Rachel do the reactions videos.
I would love to have that. I would love to have a fleet of people over so I could explain to you guys why Sony's so good. I would love for hours. I would love that.
That's what I was hoping for this year. Unfortunately, that's not the scenario.
You know, I take the week off. I'm ready. I'm off tomorrow. The weekend. I'm prepping. I'm ready. I'm setting things up.
I don't see a big bag of chips or popcorn or any snacks up here whatsoever.
No big bag of chips or popcorn yet. Logistically, the food is coming, but I'm getting ready. TVs
just waiting for Rachel
moved.
to get home to go out because you're not going to go out shopping yourself.
I will not. I will go get Jet's Pizza tonight, and I will enjoy it at this very table.
This very table.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Do you want to close out your BK's Bullets? Because this was kind of a hybrid show.
See you later, guys.
Oh, that's so anticlimactic.
Well, let's plug our views.
Please do.
Okay, so I am Brent Cassina. I am a co-host of a podcast called Comic Timing Podcast. You can check us out over at facebook.com/comic timing, or you can just search Comic Timing Podcast in that search bar in the Facebook page.
There's always time for comics.
There's always time for comics. Please like us, listen to our shows.
It's great shows. Ian's great.
There's backlogs of BK's Bullets if you want to hear about old video game news. It's just me and Jim talking about that.
Yes.
We talk about comics, we review movies, things like that, comic movies, genre stuff, TV.
You do it all.
We do it all. So please check us out over there. If you're listening on the audio form, please, I beg you, youtube.com/Viper
Magic.
Spell it out.
VYPERMAJIK. The worst branding decision I've ever made in my life.
The worst.
Why couldn't it be youtube.com/Jim or Jimmy?
The absolute worst.
Video game guy.
Absolute worst.
But you know what? I'm almost up to 200 subscribers, so I'm doing something
I would love
right.
if you got 10 new subscribers from the Comic Timing audience.
That would be awesome. And I always say this, and I've been true to my word. If you email me, what email do I want to give them? If you email me at Captain Camaro, one word, CaptainCamaro, just like the car, just like the military rank, CaptainCamaro@gmail.com. And you put, what word do you want a word in the subject? Give me a word. A word that is like a unique word that I know that they listen to this show all the way through. Give me the word.
Let's use my co-host name, Ian.
If you email me in the subject, Ian, and you give me your PayPal email address in the subject, I will send you $1 American.
There you go, folks.
And I will send as many. If there's 1 million people, we will refinance the house.
Let's make Jim spend $10.
$10
on the Comic Timing audience.
And you can't. And if you're Brent or Ian, you can't do this.
No. I'm already subscribed.
You can't. I'll know.
But you have to subscribe first.
I'll know.
You cannot email and then not subscribe.
Is
subscribe first, then send an email.
Is there a way to see who subscribes to you on your audio?
I have no fucking clue.
On your pushing of your audio?
I have no fucking clue.
Because that would be like $1.50. But we're not going to go that far. We'll go for $1.
No fucking clue. I mean, what we really should do is say leave a comment on this video.
Oh, and then email.
On the E3 predictions video with Brent, and then you email him and say, here's what. I
don't want to make it too complex. I just want.
That's not complex.
On Tuesday at 3:41 p.m., you must do this. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. It was always good to see you.
Had a blast.
Thanks for drinking the Budweiser Platinum, best brand on the planet.
Wasn't bad.
Best brand on the planet, right?
I don't know about that.
You know, Budweiser Platinum is a whopping 6.0 alcohol volume.
Ooh.
Not sponsored by them, but I should be, because I drink so much of it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the other side. Go watch Comic Timing.
See you
later.
Listen.
And that's all we got.
Bye-bye.